Hello, good morning. God, get away with myself. Hi, it's Peter, True Blue Thai, for instance, calling you from 12,000 kilometers away in lovely Thailand. That was me, by the way, a month ago when I first came here. For instance, look how fat I was. 150 kilos, and I'm down to 50. This is a t-shirt. I bought this last season, etc. It's too big for me. Okay, so yeah, absolutely. So much weight since I've been here. Different diet, different climate, everything. Once again, highly recommended. Keep off that crappy food, that processed food. Yeah, right. Okay, good morning. Francisco and Tag, sorry, Cat. It's Chinese New Year. I know because, quite honestly, for instance, in Thailand, for instance, we have in the area where I live with the the Thai people, they have Chinese descent. So what they like to do, for instance, is basically celebrate, and what they do is kind of do it every year. For instance, they get all the cars and the motorbikes and they put them all together, for instance, and they start them up. Okay, and this is at sunup, 6 o'clock in the morning. I kid you not, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they start them up, all the cars and the vans and whatever, and they let them all start going, brum, 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 and first of all they beep the horns. And and then for instance, they basically for instance do this, and then they put out this food platter, for instance, where there's fruit and vegetables and things like that for, and then there's something to do with, I don't know, it's a kind of, I'm going to show you this. It's like this thing, etc. This is quite common, I've got the butter stuff, etc. here with my lady, for instance, and she's big into it. And we have this little guy here, Aika. She's bought this guy here, Aika, for instance. Yeah, so he's a good look and everything, and so for instance, yeah, and we pray to it. She buys him tanks and makes him little uniforms and whatever, and he's supposed to give a good look. So yeah, which is what you need. Anyway, so yeah, for instance, so it's the 6 o'clock. That was on about a day or so yesterday. The day before that, for instance, they did that. For instance, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they also set off the firecrackers and yeah, and then on yesterday, for instance, they did for instance. I went down running. I'll go running down to the beach, and every second day I do a 20k run and swim and yoga. And what's it called? And it appears like there's a festival going on with choppers, just in the dark side of Pattaya, for instance, in a park, for instance. And it appears that a lot of Thais, they all ended down to the beach area, and there was like hundreds of motorbikes, hundreds. And then they came in on little pickups, and they were hanging, and they were little groups of them as they go along the beach road. And there was that, they were mixed in with the phalanx, the foreigners, the Westerners with no helmets on, riding motorbikes. Yeah, look at me, look at me. Crazy, crazy. Wear a helmet, you clowns. Honestly, for instance, yeah, but no. Foreigners will not learn phalang. Wear a helmet, wear protection. Nobody wants to see your naked body. Really don't. Really don't. Nobody wants to see it. You don't look cool. You don't look nice. Whatever. You're not doing yourself any favors, and you look stupid. And also, whatever accidents, people die here. Very, very daily. Just use your brain. You want to have a lovely time, go home and show people, oh, look at me in Thailand. Use this. Wear a helmet, okay? Stop. You're not perfect. There's something I could really go at. And also, if one thing I see, foreigners not only wear no helmet, they have children on the bikes, whatever, their own flesh and blood, and they don't have any helmets. They don't even have a sun hat. 40 degrees and for no sun hat for a child. Oi, show some responsibility, please, please. Anyway, so sorry, it's just a rant. It just drives me crazy, for instance. And don't say that, oh, the Thais get away with it. It doesn't make no difference what the Thais do. For instance, they're used to it, and they have accidents and die every day. I say it every day on the damn TV. So, for instance, and you don't have to be one of them. Using this. Nobody cares about the way you look, and your tattoos, and your biceps, and your whatever. You're not doing yourself any favors at all. And it's a daily thing of accidents and accident after accident and death in Thailand because of motorbikes. Kid you not. What was it? Phuket 1,600 and something. 14 deaths, a bike accident, 14 deaths recorded in 23 days. First 23 days of this year. Come on. Wake up. That's just a Phuket. That's an island, for God's sake. Anyway, so let's move on. Anyway, so there was loads of bikes, loads of cars, and then yeah, guess what yesterday? And I knew what was going to happen. The heavens opened, because we haven't seen rain for a while. And then the heavens opened. I knew that it was going to rain. I saw it actually in the advertised, and the temperature's going back up now. It's a bit cold at the moment for me. Anyway, so the temperature's gone back up, and it was. So yeah, it was a bit. What do you call it? For instance, so yeah, and it's when it really rains over here, it rains. So, for instance, to me, it's lovely, and I get the thunderstorms and things like that. My lady goes screaming for the because she hates fun on the line. I think it's brilliant. It's biblical when it really, kicks on in the rainy season. It's just fantastic. It really is. But for instance, I was watching. For instance, it was out last night. For instance, and I was watching for instance, it going on, cracking on, and whatever. And I was thinking about the guys who all come down in their motorbikes and riding up and down, and suddenly the heavens opens. So yeah, so yeah. But anyway, so let's move on. So I've been out this morning, etc. And I said, I went out to shopping this morning. First thing, I went out to Calad, the market, and I went to Lotus, went for a walk. I said, I don't use motorbikes, I just go for walks, and why? I'm retired, and I'm on a retirement visa, for instance, and I'm here, so what's the point? I've got 24 hours to kill, for instance. I might as well go out and then just enjoy, have a bit of exercise, try not get bitten by a sorry dog, and for instance, do the standoff. As you're walking down, they look at you, you look at them. Oi, no. Anyway, so for instance, got away with that. For instance, and then eventually, so come back and for instance, and there you go. For instance, so it's still a bit cold for me, as it is. I said I'm very tired because getting onto it, because you can see I'm tired because I am waffling on too much here. Because I haven't talked about football yet, and I may have to talk about football, the game. But last night, for instance, we had the Thai New Year, for instance, Chinese New Year, not Thai New Year till the end of the year. Songkran. Anyway, no, they were lighting off fireworks. There was music going on. This until 4 or 5 a.m. And even though it's over there, for instance, I can still hear it. And they were letting off fireworks and the firecrackers. That didn't finish until 6 o'clock. And then you got the clowns running down the circumvent down here on the motorbikes, all kinds of. And what the guys like to do, they make the motorbikes as noisy as humanly possible. For instance, yeah. So you love noise over here. So it's either playing music noise, letting off firecrackers, or making motorbikes. For some strange reason, it's a more masculine thing to make things noisy. So yeah, so if you don't like noise or big noise, don't come to live here, honestly, because you'll just drive you crazy. You have to be really tolerant, you really are. Because when these guys play music here, for instance, like they do a couple of days ago, for instance, they just wank it right up. And whatever, and I can't even hear the TV, and the TV is right there, for instance, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so that's enough of my little ranting for about Thailand, etc. It's just things you've got to do. So let's talk about football. So I've got my coffee. I've got water, which is the most important thing. Okay, so for instance, I drink a lot of this. Stay hydrated. Keep that pee. Keep your pee white. Okay. Anyway, so I was watching the game yesterday. For instance, we against Everton, we had a full strength squad to choose from. Didn't see Sergio Gomez. And we coveted quite a bit of a strain or something. So he's I think we're the only ones. We had a very good bench, and Pep, in his Everton wisdom, whether he's thinking about Wednesday in Copenhagen, in Denmark. I lived there 10 years. Loved the place. Anyway, so for instance, we kind of what's the word? For instance, we changed it around a bit. And when I first saw the team, and I thought, well, I kind of like it. For instance, I believe in Nunes, even though some City fans don't. Again, I would talk about the hot and cold things about some City fans. They either go from hot to somebody don't cold. He's can't get rid of him, blah blah blah. Come on, it's just one. You He could be just having a bad day. Maybe the system. And a lot of Pep seems to do is play a lot of players in different systems in different ways they're not used to playing. So, for instance, and so we did change it around, and they did have different. We had Phil Foden on the right, he's keeping in the middle, and he's more effective in the middle, for instance, and that's where he's been succeeding, But yes, we tried this system, etc. And I thought the system, etc., was a little bit. I thought, okay, good, but it clearly wasn't working in the first half against Everton, for instance. And and I was listening to LB's challenge, and for instance, and City Extra and Typical City, and they were talking, and they were saying out of Everton's got one of the best defensive records in the Premier League, and you think, what? You're kidding me? But they can't score many goals, so let's go. But and it shows you what Sean Dyche is all about. It's Sean Dyche, he sets you up to be very defensive, hard to beat, which is give him credit. Go with what you got. Go. So, for instance, it proved that the case because we didn't have a single shot on goal. We just, what? Kidding me? In the first half. So what's it called? How was I feeling about it? Well, for instance, there was this kind of, trusting the Blues, trusting the concept. But I think if we were going to do something that, we needed to change it in the second half, and the place was screaming out for Kevin De Bruyne to come on, just to fed that fast, to get that thing, to do something. I thought the game was slow. We were playing into their hands. They were doing a lot of falling over. And then suddenly after we scored, for instance, a lot of their players didn't fall over as much. So, for instance, but they were doing what they needed to do. For instance, they did a really a little up front. The defence, our City's defence looked good. It looked better. So, for instance, and good to see John Stones coming back, playing a good 90, so that's good. Diaz and Akanji. Akanji didn't have his best game. What's it called? But, for instance, yeah. But, and again, it's for the amount of money we pay for him and what he's given us in return, I'll leave him. And he's been one of the best defenders we've had. So yeah, and I'm not going to complain about this guy. I said I'm not one of those City fans who, it's like off a player. Just I just say, for instance, he's had a bad game, or for instance, that's it. Anyway, let's move on. So so we played the game, for instance, and I was, it's like we hadn't had a shot on goal. For instance, we had a lot of possession. For instance, it is frustrating. We know. I think LB and Tuga City and Big Steve and whatever, and they all talk about the same thing, and I totally agree. And the Scousers say the same thing. Draws do not do you any favours. Draws are like losses, and we needed to win and to get the points. We need to keep on this. And it's not until you get that first goal with whatever, and then for instance, and you looked at the way we were playing in the first half, and Haaland wasn't getting any service. Nunes was disappointing, but again, was he playing in a way, and also the team. Certain teams you can play against and they'll be lightning, and then certain teams set you up, can make you look garbage. For instance, and he didn't look good yesterday, for instance. But again, was it the system? Was it the team we were playing? Again, for instance, who did come out there the first half, etc., looking fantastic. Okay, there's not many. So overall, what's it called? Everton did what they choose to do, for instance, and big up them, etc. For instance, and if they could have get a point out of it, and knowing that Luton lost yesterday, for instance, that would have been massive, good for them. Anyway, so in Sheffield United, I've got to look at that game. I've only reviewed the City things because I'm seeing the rest. Anyway, so for instance, so I was really, it was begging out for De Bruyne, for instance, to come on, and of course when he comes on, and Kyle Walker when he came on also made a difference as well. He really did, pushing it back. And did we get lucky in the first goal? There was complaining that the corner wasn't a corner. They were more complaining about that before the corner was taken, because we don't do really good. We don't score corner City in the way that we should do. For instance, we don't make the most of them, should I say? Anyway, so but yeah, I was. So when the ball came over, for instance, and Haaland, being a proper goal scorer he is, just peeled off and got that ball and just whacked it, and the momentum put the ball in the back of the net, for instance, and against Pickford. and the relief was amazing. And all the City, for instance, for doing that. Like for Haaland for doing that, and yeah. And as soon as that done, they came out and played a little bit, and as soon as they played, for instance, it left them open, and Kevin with this lovely ball to Haaland. Haaland taking on the young Braithwaite, who had a good game. What's it called? But when you're playing against a man like him, Haaland just brushed past you. I thought for 1 second, I thought the referee was going to call it a foul or something like that, or whatever. But when I saw it, he just fell over, basically, for instance, now. And but the young lad had a good game. So, for instance, we're playing against the world's best here. Um, for instance, so and Haaland just did what he did, and wonderful, absolutely fantastic. Could have had a third goal, Kevin, you greedy bugger. For instance, you should have passed it, and Haaland could have had his hat trick. Walked around with a hat trick ball and made the goal difference again. Could still be interesting. But apart from that, we went on with the 3 points, which was good. Relief around the stadium, which was amazing. These games are just as important as what Pep said. I think he was talking about the Luton game, for instance, after we won that one, and the dressing room, and it was just mega. Yeah, for instance, mega important game. 12:30 kickoff, for instance, and we went on. We went top of the league for a little while until Liverpool beat what's it called, Burnley, for instance. I'm sorry, Vinny. What's it called? But they scored at least. So, but they didn't get knocked over 3-1. Same City beat them 3-1. And there we go. And then we move on. So, for instance, and then we got Arsenal today, for instance, against West Ham. Who knows? West Ham did the business last season over them. Got a draw. Draw. I think we had a draw last season. Yeah, and then so let's see how that works out today against Arsenal. For instance, it was, great. And now City can go off to Denmark, for instance, and hopefully, for instance, get the 3 points over there, and then, for instance, we'll win the first leg, not 3 points, win the first leg, and then bring it back to the Etihad, and then, for instance, then we can go through the champion, through the into the next round of the Champions League. So, but overall, happy. I can't really complain about things really City. For instance, about the way we're playing and everything. So it's I believe again. For instance, I talked last week about this level, about where we are at, etc. And sometimes when I listen to City fans, I listen to even Cheeseman talking about City fans. And sometimes I think City fans' expectations are, because we're so used to playing this, and then we drop down this little bit, there's a kind of ooh. But again, for instance, there's no easy game in the Premier League, and Everton are Warriors, and they ain't gonna drop out the Premier League just like that. And Sean Dyche is a good manager, and so for instance, but you're getting the 3 points and moving on to the next, etc. Winnable games on paper, but there's no it's not until you, for instance, they play the games and I can set it up, and there's a certain expectation as well. Sometimes I don't know whether it's like, for instance, it's good to go as an underdog than whatever, because there's expectations to win. So it's not as easy just like that. So teams, it's the Premier League. But happy days. For instance, again, I couldn't sleep this morning because of that. I listened to Talksport. I was listening to, God knows why I do this to myself, then, because I had to listen to football programs, and the missus is sleeping, for instance, and while she's sleeping, I had my earphones on, I can't have the TV or anything. So, and I was listening to Talksport and listening to Goldbridge. Oh, God, what a bitter man that is. And there was a City fan actually rang up and went, "Oh, good show. Call that a good show. All he does is moan, hey, I hate Man City, I hate Man..." Yeah, we know, Goldbridge, you miserable whatever. Oh, you've got to give him credit, whatever. He kind of like gives you a little bit. Oh, I hate Man City, then he just takes it away. But, whatever. I've got to give him credit to City, but I hate City, and I hate Liverpool. I don't care. You're supposed to be doing a presenting, like a football show, for instance. I'm sick and tired of listening to you moaning about, for instance, how you hate Man City and you hate Liverpool and blah, blah, blah. Oh, honestly. Mr. United's going to win the league, the Champions League this season. I think the City fans were playing that this on YouTube, for instance, on Facebook this week. I'm going to stand up for this. Man United win the Champions League. Give me a break. Embarrassing you are, boys. Anyway, and they were talking about United doing a ground share at City. Forget it. You ain't going to know our ass. After what the way you treated us, after we helped you, and if it wasn't for Man City, United wouldn't even exist. And that is something United fans don't know. Once they go in, you forget, or conveniently forget. Man City helped you. Once they go in, you couldn't even afford your own T-shirts. For instance, you were that poor. For instance, if it wasn't from, and we loan you the players, and you get if it wasn't, we did a ground share with you so you could finish your season. Otherwise, you're going to get kicked out of the Premier League. Oh, sorry, the league. Oh, and how you treated us. So forget it. Go and share with Spurs and whatever, or London, whatever, or Wembley, for instance, like that, or South, or Cambridge, or whatever, where your sport is. But no, forget it. And then you want the country, what's it called, the taxpayer to pay for your stadium, your new stadium? Forget it. Absolutely forget it. I didn't even insult Wembley up the north. Gee, we've already got the Wembley north. It's called the Etihad Stadium. Yeah. And that's another thing. What's it called? The Premier League, you're talking about, for instance, sponsorship again. Another way to undermine Manchester City and sponsorship, and you just want it, and honestly, they're just making things too complicated. The FFP rules come down and bite them in the butt. So now they're changing it because it's for instance, in cities, the idea of the FFP was to stop Manchester City and Newcastle, for instance, and it's ended up stopping their clubs. And now they can't spend, but they've seen Man City got this guy from Girona. Well, that's not fair. Well, we won't get. And now they've come along and said, because the Premier League teams voted for the FFP, by the way, for instance, just to protect their name, and now they want to change it to the UEFA ruling. So because the UEFA ruling allows, if the more you earn your revenue, who earns the most? United, for instance, can spend the most. Yeah. Anyway, so for instance, still don't go stop City because we're smarter than you lot. And the blue cards, oh God, unbelievable, the blue cards. Blue card, blue and yellow and pink and green. What's next? Honestly, just get just get the basics of football properly done. The reason why we like football is because it's a simple game, and then you're making it overcomplicated, and you have to make it this way and this way and this way, and that nobody understands the handball rule, and now we don't know what. And honestly, it's just ridiculous. And having a blue card, oh God. Oh. Oh, bit of a line. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I was like gone the wrong way. But no, it's just absolutely bananas for me. It really is. So, for instance, these card systems, I just hate it. I can't stand it, and it's just to make it more complicated. And and the referees have got far too much to do as it is, and the VAR hasn't helped, and it's stopping people enjoying football. But the thing is, we'll have Champions League this week, and the VAR will be on that. And 9 times out of 10, the VAR works absolutely perfect. What's it good in the Champions League? So don't know how it works better in the Champions League, apart from that PSG Newcastle game. For instance, it just works so badly in the UK. So I don't know. So yeah, in the Premier League. So, but let's see. So what else happened between now and then? No, sponsorship. That's about it. Trying to stop Man City and the sponsorship. So anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on. I'm sure you've got other things to think about and do in your day. For instance, if you're watching the Arsenal game like I'll be, for instance, I might just knock myself out because I'm so tired. God. Yeah, anyway, so I will catch you probably just during the week because we've got to do a preview of the Copenhagen game. Great country. If you go to Denmark, enjoy. For instance, Mr. Country, for instance, great country to live in. Should have been more smarter. Where's to go? While I was over there, for instance, I wasn't. For instance, but I was over there 10 years, and great country, great standard of living, for instance, like that. Yeah, but I wish you the best, and enjoy yourself. Expensive country, was to go back, quality of living, and good. they really know how to look after their citizens and smart people. Okay, enjoy Denmark, for instance, and yeah, enjoy. Enjoy Parken. I used to go there a lot. I used to live around the corner there from there. Used to bro. Yeah, yeah. Go to the Shamrock, the Irish pubs. You got I think there was about because Big Steve will talk about the City fans are meeting in the Shamrock because he was the Bloomsday's bar, which is a good top man called Philip Simpson, for instance, when I was, and his what's it called, his partner, for instance. Used to own that, and that was the best bar for me, you know. And I love that bar, for instance. Philip Simpson, great man, really is. If you ever see him, he's a good top City fan, and I think it was the Man City bar of Copenhagen, for instance. And yeah, we were really good bar, really great, especially between Irish and for instance, yeah, Irish bar, Danish bar, for instance, that kind of thing. But no, it was really good. With great Guinness, Miss me Guinness. But no, it was a really good time, for instance, and I really enjoyed Denmark, for instance. Wasn't smart enough really to stay there, for instance, and but yeah, life goes on. I'm here now, for instance. And yeah, I wish you luck in whatever you're doing today, for instance, and I hope you what's it called, feeling a bit better about the way we're playing at the moment. For instance, I feel good about us. Anyway, so we're gonna waffle on too much, but take care. Have a good one. Sorry, Cap. Enjoy Chinese New Year, for instance, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll see you in a few days' time, and take care. Bye.